Well, I'm the business editor at the Toronto Star, and if there are two headlines I could put in the paper, not every day, but at least every week, the first one would be mildly competent business leader takes home gigantic paycheck, or in the case of BlackBerry and Target, incompetent business leader takes home massive paycheck. The other headline I'd put in is regular people fight for living wages and benefits. I have a reporter out there right now talking to somebody at a fairly large Canadian company, talking to their staff about what working life is like. I think we've seen over the discussion around the Ontario election that the growing income inequality and the sense of the growing income inequality is certainly at the top of minds of a lot of regular people. But this isn't just an issue here. Recently, there were the annual general meetings of McDonald's and Walmart in the United States, where what the executives were being paid was one issue, and the lack of a living wage for the people who were on the ground for those companies was another issue. And those two debates played out side by side, which was quite stunning. Or you can even look at anybody who was glued to their TV over the weekend watching the World Cup, where you have multimillionaire business leaders and multimillionaire athletes inside the stadiums, where you have people protesting and rioting on the streets because they can't live decently, even though they're working full time outside. So income inequality is an issue. It's perceived to be a growing issue, both in Canada, the rest of the developed world, and the developing world. And so we're here today to kind of take a look at the realities of the issue and potentially what can be done to solve the issue. And we're going to start off with Brian Murphy from StatsCan, who's going to guide us through some of the hard numbers about the reality of income inequality in Canada today.